Alrighty, guys, welcome back to GSA. We've got another Group A matchup today in the DKR time trial tournament. Today we got ProfPoli going up against peegstheprez. And yeah, should have a good matchup today. Peegstheprez has already done one matchup where she unfortunately lost to Bandau in a 10-3, I believe. So Peak's hoping to squeak out the victory today against a relatively new player, ProfPoli. I believe he's new to time trials, but he has been doing some RTA categories, so should be interesting to see how he performs today.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
go ahead.
definitely. ProfPoli has been doing a bunch of speedrun stuff. So even though he doesn't have a lot of time trial experience, he's no stranger to the game. So I'm sure he's gonna put up quite a good fight against Peaks. So it should be a really good match.
So I believe we started off with a coin toss, and ProfPoli won the coin toss, and I believe he chose to pick the first track.
Yes, he chose Greenwood, and I'm gonna go up a little bit to see who banned what. I don't know what's the ban, but at least I know ProfPoli chose Greenwood, and uh, basically, the way it works is going to be, for those who don't know, this tournament is a one-try tournament, so each track is going to be played once, at least the one that are chosen. And players have the choice to choose between the three vehicles, so it can be either car, hover, or plane. In this case, Prof chose Greenwood car, so we cannot go back to this track later if, let's say, they would not want to play hover. So yeah, so far both players doing fairly good. Peak's a little ahead of Poly by about, I would say, 5 seconds, but it's really easy to bump on this track, so it's not over for Prof.
Yeah, one of the toughest sections of this track is this S curve that Peaks is coming up here. She does it no problem.
Peaks finishing with, I believe, a 115, and probably is going to finish to 120. So the first point going to Peaks. So the way we do this tournament, it's always loser's pick. So now Poli gets to choose the next track.
So Peaks has just decided to ban Ancient Lake. So Ancient Lake is off the table for this match.
I'm actually quite surprised about that, because Ancient Lake, I feel, is one of these tracks that everybody likes to play.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least most people do. So I actually did not expect Ancient Lake to be banned. But Prof going in with the Walrus Cove hover pick, interesting pick. I would say out of the other track is something you don't see often.
Mm-hmm.
But it could be a very, sometimes players do have these, weird pick that not a lot of people like to do, but they're really good on it. So that's like a really good way to get some points.
Yeah, part of the whole strategy is maybe being familiar with, 2 or 3 tracks that are a little out of the ordinary and hope to catch your opponent a little off guard with a really strange pick.
So the Overcraft, as you might see, is a lot about snaking. Snaking makes you quite a bit faster than just regular driving. So you're gonna see them, go all over the place with the Overcraft. So far, Peak's a little ahead, but still pretty close. And one perks of the hovercraft on this level is that you can actually go over the ice, which is not possible in car. So that's a little something you guys might not know. A fairly close first laps, only 2 seconds behind Prof. Definitely can come back.
Peek's opting to go around the little I don't know what you would call them, but but you can see Prof is going right up on top and kind of cutting the corner a little bit.
So, a pretty good second lap from Peaks at 35. So I'm on a pretty good pace.
Yeah, Peek's coming up on the finish here.
The sub 150, so it was a 149, a pretty decent time, and the Prof's gonna finish with a looks like a high 156.
Yeah.
So 2-0 for Peak.
So another thing we I don't think we've mentioned yet is the first 9 tracks. We have to see 3 car tracks, 3 hover tracks, and 3 plane tracks. And then the last 4 tracks are going to be a free-for-all. So far we've seen 1 car track and 1 hover track. So perhaps Polly will pick a plane track, and it looks like he does. He picks Star City Plane.
Ooh, very interesting pick. Of all the plane tracks, Star City is like very easy to mess up, I feel. Especially from those that are not like your usual plane tracks, this is definitely one of the weirdest. So it can definitely throw Peaks off for sure. And you know, if he's been practicing this track, it might be a very, very good strategy to go.
Yeah, for sure. This track can be pretty difficult with if they decide to, you know, barrel roll in some of these tight tunnels.
Yeah, so the strat in plane is to barrel roll as much as you can, because that's how you build up a lot of speed. But as you're gonna see, this track is very, very narrow, and it's actually really, really hard to do barrel rolls without, you know, going straight into the wall and losing all your speed. So it's gonna be really interesting to see how the player handles it.
So they both missed the zipper at the beginning.
It's actually a lot harder than it looks like to hit the ground zippers as plane. You kind of have to be angling yourself down, but not too much so that you don't like just lose all your speed, and you know it's quite tricky. But right now, Peaks taking the lead, hitting these zippers that Prof isn't going for, but Prof going for the air zipper, which is interesting. The fastest strat is to use the ground one, but I'm guessing he's just more confident to go over there and use that one instead.
Prof does hit the ground zipper that time, though.
Peak's actually doing fairly well. You know, I can't state how hard this track actually is in plane compared to some of the other ones. So even though she's going a little slow, it's still pretty good for this track, honestly. Prof not too far behind. You know, plane, if you do one mistake in plane, it can easily be like a 5-second time loss with only one mistake.
Yeah.
So Prof really not out of the game if he's still going at the same pace, because Peaks can just mess up, which happens. Peaks with a big bonk, losing a bunch of time, but also Prof. also with another big bonk. So yeah, exactly, and kind of nullifying the mistake that Peaks did. So I think Peaks is gonna end up taking this one with a 144.
Yeah.
But you know, probably not that far behind. Still, you know, it's always like if Peaks would do like one more big mistake, he would be taking the point basically.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go 3-0 Peak.
Off to a good start.
Very, very strong start. Can't quickly change. You know, most tracks in these games are fairly hard to execute, so you can't really go back and forth in a one try.
So ProfPoli with the next pick goes for Space Dust Alley Car. Wow. Okay.
I feel like he's going for like all these really crazy trollish levels.
Yeah.
Just like maybe he's feeling like that's his way to get points.
Yeah.
Because you know most people don't play these, or maybe he just enjoys them. I'm not too sure. But regardless, he's picking a very, very hard car track, so it should be very interesting to watch.
Yeah. Lots of uneven terrain, which can, you know, send you flying in all different types of directions. So it's very hard to maintain control at all times on this track. But I like this track. I've kind of warmed up to it quite nicely.
Yeah, I actually used to like highly dislike it, but the more you do it, you kind of get like, I don't know, it's one of those things that you just over time you get used to and kind of start to like.
ProfPoli actually, looking pretty solid.
Looking very synced right now.
They're both going they're both going for the bridge. Oh no!
Ooh, big mistake.
And wow, going for the zipper.
Ooh, that zipper is like something even top player usually don't go for. It's really hard to really hard to actually control the speed that you get from it, especially with all the pillars around and you know the sharp turn that you have to do. But another mistakes from Poli, but it's far from over. These could you know do pretty much exactly the same on the next lap and just lose as much time.
I think it looks like Peegs is cutting off her boost a little short just to make sure that she's, doesn't end up making a huge mistake. Whereas ProfPoli is kind of letting the boosts go and...
Yeah, going very YOLO. I like that style personally, but
I do too. Yeah,
maybe not the best in the one try format for sure. But it's still not dead. Peegs could possibly get stuck in the corner, which does happen.
I think what Peegs is doing is so ProfPoli bonked in the same place twice in a row. I think he's like trying to. I think he was trying to drift a little too early, and he got snagged on a bump and then got sent into the corner, whereas Peegs was just driving straight. But Peegs takes another race, sorry.
Yep, now up 4-0. A little rough from Poli, though. It did do a few things that were really good, but ultimately just kind of tried a bit too hard on some of these zippers and got stuck on walls.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you just kind of have to go for it. I'm that kind of player that will usually go for these things, even though it makes more sense to not go for them in a one try. But can't blame him. He's trying. You gotta respect that. And now they're going for an Ever for Speed car, which is another track that is fairly difficult to execute in car. It's usually, when you do speedrun, it's usually a plane track, which in my opinion is a lot easier in plane, even though it's one of the hardest plane tracks. So, it's going to be interesting to see how they manage to control the movement and the speed around all these bumps.
Mm-hmm. There's one corner on this track that is particularly difficult, and you can just hit a zipper and then just fly right through a section of the track. But Peegs missing the zipper. ProfPoli, this is the corner I was talking about, but he decides to just take it easy. So, yeah, not much difference in time.
Yeah, it's still very, very close. Prof definitely in the running to taking this match, this point here. It's gonna depends a lot on the zipper coming up with on peaks, which it's by far the hardest zipper in the track. You can basically like fly through like all that portion if you get a really good zipper. But it's really hard to control, so maybe Prof is gonna go for it just to try and beat peaks.
Yeah, this uneven terrain, man, I'm telling you, like, you can just snag a bump and then just get like sent right into the wall, and that's unfortunately what's happening to ProfPoli here as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, a little too few mistakes. So P is gonna go up 5-0. So I'm expecting some more troll maps. Maybe something like Spaceport Alpha Car or something like that. Or no, they can't choose car anymore. So maybe Hover. Well, actually, they're gonna go for Frosty Village Hover, which in my opinion is a very good track. There's a trick called a triple zipper. I don't expect them to do it because it's fairly hard, but we might see it. And if they do, you're gonna see how fast the hover can get if you like. You can get to crazy amount of speeds if you change some zippers. So hopefully we'll get to see that.
I at least hope we get to see a couple doubles.
Yeah, the doubles are still pretty fast for sure.
So ProfPoli missing a banana there. The bananas are important because for each banana you get, it increases your top speed and your acceleration to a maximum of 10. So you definitely want to collect as many bananas as you can, you know, right off the bat if possible. As long as they're not too far out of the way.
Yeah, it definitely does make a difference. You know, sometimes you're gonna lose by like not even half a second, and you're gonna be like two banana downs, and those 2 bananas are basically what made you be like half a second down. So like in really close matches, it matters a lot that you actually get all of them.
Peegs almost with the triple.
Yeah, almost showing off the crazy amount of speed. Probably opting to go for the double single instead of chaining all of them, which obviously offers a lot more control but is a bit slower. When missing the zipper on the right after the little cave at the beginning. It's actually fairly hard to get it because as you come out of the waters, there's a little bump that just makes you unable to turn through a little bit. So it's fairly easy to miss it. Oh, and Poli going for the double.
Nice.
Almost getting the triple, but in the end, Peak's still faster and taking the win on this track. The 125, that's actually pretty good. Good performance from Peaks, and oh, and a flap for Poli. So, a new fast lap, that's amazing.
Alright, so where are we going to go next? We have yet to see a track from Dino Domain or Sherbet Island.
Which is quite surprising. Most players would choose tracks in Dino Domain over anything else. And I actually felt like Poli would do that, but it seems like he's just trying to, get these up picks out of the way. So the next one is going to be Hollywood's Hover. One of the track that's actually faster on the PAL version, but as both players play on NTSC, it will not really matter. But that's actually quite a thing to note is that the PAL version is actually a little bit faster on some of the hover track, and I know some of the players will be playing on the PAL version later on, So it might be something that we're gonna be looking for when selecting the tracks.
So about to get started here on Haunted Woods Hover, and this track can be kind of annoying at times. There's one zipper in particular that is notorious for skipping over. So yeah, we might see that.
Yeah, it's the very first zipper that you're gonna get on the left. It's one of the worst zipper in the entire game. You basically, as you approach it, there's like no visible bump, but there's these small little bumps that just makes you go over it. And we'll see if it happens to them. It's the zipper to the left here. Actually, both not taking the zipper. Interesting. Maybe they don't want to deal with it, as it is really often, not working. But the Pigs with the early lead here, 22nd lap, pretty good. But Poli, very close behind. And Pigs again not opting for the zipper, but Poli, going for it and showing off exactly what we were talking about. Basically just going over the zipper, even though it doesn't seem to be any reason that you would go over it, but the smallest of bumps making you miss it. Well, a little freeze on peak side, but Poli continuing. His run is still a fairly good pace. And then with a 106 and a flap and a 3-lap record, that's pretty good. Nice. Poli, showing off that he can go fast as well, even though he's not getting these points. Some pretty good stuff coming out from him. And okay, I was about to say, Pigs with the exact same, but I think Pigs internet dropped, so hopefully she'll be back soon. Obviously, we're gonna try to get her back into the race as fast as possible. But yeah, a little debated here as the screen got duplicated. There was I actually really thought it was a tie myself before realizing it. Yeah, so far, 6-0 Pigs, maybe 7-0. We don't really know because internet dropped. In my opinion, so far the match, even though Prof hasn't been really close to Pigs, I feel like he's been playing pretty good too. He's always been like within the range of one mistake. Pigs would just do one mistake and then he would be taking the point. So, I feel like he might be able to still get it, or at least get some point on the board.
Alright, so bit of a temporary delay just to see what's up with Pigs.
But yeah, so far, I think this match has been pretty entertaining to watch. I haven't really, paid that much attention to the other match, but I've just been really hyped to being able to come into this one, and can't wait to see all the other matches in the tournament. I know your matches are next week.
Yeah.
So I'm actually really looking forward to those. Probably gonna try to commentate on these as well.
I'm really looking forward to the matches next week.
Yeah, there's gonna be a bunch of DKR action next week. It's gonna be amazing. Yep, don't worry, guys. We're trying to get the stream back going as soon as possible. Peaks a little internet issue, but it should be fixed pretty soon. So apparently, Peaks got the 59.55 for that Hunter whatsoever, which we could verify later with their local recording. But I believe her obviously. So that would mean that Peaks would have gotten 7-0, meaning that she would get 5 extra points for winning the match already. But obviously, Poli can keep going to get some more points for himself. Since the pool. The pools works with a point system very similar to the Mario Kart Double Dash League. So that meaning that we play all 13 races to get to see how many points player gets. Alright, seems like Peaks got the internet back, so it should be very small amount of time before everything is back on stream and we could continue. Alright, so she's back now, and Poli with the Jungle Falls plane pick.
Wow.
I
almost hate this one
more
than Star City playing. This one's almost, I think this one's way tougher than Star City playing.
Yeah, it's actually even like some of the, plane specialists, as I like to call them. They really don't like this track. Of all the plane tracks, it's probably one of the least liked, because it is just so hard and easy to bonk and do mistakes. But I personally like it quite a bit. But I know that I'm in the minority for that for sure. So probably has a good chance of winning here, honestly.
Alright, about to get started here on race number 8. As we said before, Peak's already taking the match, but Prof can still score himself some points here on these last 6 races.
Alright, so both players ready, so the countdown is starting right now. So we're gonna get back in this action. Pigs already won, like we explained, but Poli can still put in some points on the board for the pool placement. Every single point is important to get, so you can't just give up because you're putting already at 7, but you really need to be able to get out of groups to get every single point that you can.
Pigs starting off with the bonk on the tree.
Yep, still very, very close between the two. Basically, all the zippers on this track are on the ground, which makes it even harder. Oh, and Prof choosing to go for the skull zipper. Interesting.
Yeah. Typically, we would just chain barrel rolls through that section there.
Yeah, we do basically what Pigs is doing, and go over the tree to the right side, do a bunch of barrels.
ProfPoli playing a little bit more conservatively. He's repressing the accelerator after pretty soon after these barrel rolls, and he's not really chaining the boosts and the barrel rolls together, but understandable. It's a pretty difficult track.
Yeah, and a 1-on-1 for Prof, actually. Another 3-lap PB, dude.
Mm-hmm. Pretty good.
Yeah, showing off, he's been practicing and improving. That's great. But the Peegs ultimately got that take of 55, which is, in a one try, actually very decent. Even myself, you usually get like a 52 or 53 in one tries. So getting a 53 for her is like actually really good.
Mm-hmm. So now we're going to Treasure Caves. This is interesting here. So Peegs is opting to switch characters and play as Drumstick.
Yeah, so Drumstick actually is a little faster on some of the tracks. He has very similar stats to TT in terms of playing, which is why sometimes you're going to see him throughout the tournament be used for playing tracks. But the main difference is that the barrels that he has, when you barreled, it lasts for longer. So sometimes the spacing of the barrels are a little better for Drumstick rather than TT. So Peegs, knowing that it is the case for this track, choosing to go back and switch for Drumstick,
wow.
but a very, very, very...
This is rough.
Big mistake. Yeah, and Polly pretty much catched up to Peegs with that mistake. That was very, very harsh. I'm actually deciding to go over the archway there. Interesting.
So Treasure Caves is actually there's actually a out of bounds clip that you can perform on this track, and you can complete it, complete a 3-lap out of bounds. But for the purposes of this tournament, all these races are going to be the 3-lap no shortcut. So unfortunately, we won't get to see the shortcut in any of these matches.
Yeah, shortcuts are usually really hard, but that was actually really close. Yeah.
Yeah. And with the flap time and a 3-lap time.
Yeah, it was basically not even a second apart, and Polly getting PBs. So Polly has been practicing for sure, dude. Getting all these PBs, yeah. It's amazing to see. Pulling them off in one tries.
All right, so we've seen 3-car, 3-hover, and 3-plane now. So for the rest of the match, everything is fair game. As long as we haven't, as long as you don't select a course that's already been played.
Yes, at this point, DKR, we have 20 tracks, and we have done 9. 1 is banned, so we still have about half of the tracks. A lot of them are hover specific. And so I don't actually expect to see them, so we're probably going to see something like Women Planes coming out soon, I'm expecting, or maybe some of the Dino tracks. Probably actually choosing to opt for Falso Canyon Hover.
Mm-hmm. I love how ProfPoli has not chosen a track with the default vehicle yet. He's really trying to throw Peegs off her game.
Yeah, most people, especially if you're not a time trial specialist, if you're used to speedruns, usually you always play these tracks in the same vehicles, because as the adventure mode does. But definitely Polly trying to throw Peegs off her game with these really hot picks.
So Peegs decided to skip the pond, which is the typical strat you would see here, but ProfPoli decided to go around and pick up those bananas. So he will be a little bit faster than Peegs, but Peegs, progressing quite nicely on this track.
Yep, bouncing around those little bumps. It can be quite hard to keep the snaking through that little section. Polly deciding to go on the upper path, taking the safe route.
Very nice.
You actually
jump.
Yeah, very, very nice. You have to be careful not to go, not get like a crazy jump and get stuck on the upper wall. It can happen quite easily there, but it looks like Peaks is gonna take it with a 120. And Polly not too far behind. Maybe it's PB pace for him. I'm not too sure. Guess we'll see. But it is actually a PB.
Nice.
Wow. Dude, is Bing putting some work, man.
Alright, sticking with hover and moving over to Windmill Plains now.
Yeah, actually one of the pick I was expecting, like I said about 2 minutes ago. It's a very, very hard track on, pretty much every single vehicle. Especially in the hover, I feel like it's extremely weird. Especially if we try to do like the windmill zipper strat, it can easily go very wrong.
Windmill Plains a pretty long track too, so to have to snake through this really long track, it could take a toll on your thumbs.
Oh yeah, the snaking back and forth definitely takes a toll on like your thumb after a while. So maybe that's the Polly strat, just choose as many over tracks as you can to make Peaks just not being able to play properly.
It's a legitimate strategy.
Yeah, pretty legitimate for sure. And Peaks with a decent beginning. Bulper probably opting to get these bananas here. Actually, probably not going to take the one on the left side. Which I think actually Peaks didn't as well. But Peaks going for the double zipper. Very well done. But Polly getting stuck. Oh, that's unfortunate. It's actually really hard to get both zipper because there's like a little tiny bump you have to deal with.
Peaks' first lap looking pretty good.
Polly getting stuck a little bit, but everything can happen if you get some really good boost here.
You can actually,
yeah, you can go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, like, after those two zippers under the windmills, you can actually carry enough speed to get a little bit of air off the incline there, and you can actually hit the air zipper.
Yeah, so some of the crazier strat here, like you like chain the two windmill zipper into the air one, and you just gain like a massive amount of speed. But it's fairly hard to execute, so I don't blame the runners for not going for it. Especially in a one try, you just want to get the best strat without too much risk. Actually, Peaks felt like she kind of tried to go for it, but didn't have quite enough speed. Same for Polly, kind of killed the boost a little too early, but still jumped into the boost, so still faster than just driving around for sure. Oh,
so
but
Peaks with a 154.93.
And Polly's gonna be a little over 2 minutes, 2:06. Fairly common track to get over 2 minutes if you're not used to it. It's just that hard to execute. But yeah, Peaks up 11-0, so 2 more tracks. Expecting 2 more troll pick from Polly, maybe some Dark Moon Cavern and Speedrun Alpha, which are two fairly difficult track. But it's actually gonna be Snowball Valley Hover. Interesting. There's actually a really, really cool strat on this track where in hover, if you get squished by the big snowballs that you're gonna see, you can kind of get like boosted by the snowball, which in car would kill your speed, but in hover, it actually helps you quite a bit. Well, can help you.
Yeah. The snowballs can give you a little bit of a shove forward. whereas in the car you just get turned into a pancake.
Into Pancake Jones. But seriously, you know, it's gonna be pretty cool to see. I just wonder if any of these players know the snowball strat. You know, maybe, you know, if they're in a good position, they could use it to gain an advantage.
Yeah. All right. So Peeg's picking up a couple extra bananas.
Fairly tied right now.
ProfPoli going a little wide on that last turn.
Yep, so a ball player opting for the right side first to get more bananas, and then the left side on the other laps, as it is a little faster. Both not opting to use the snowballs to get a little boost forward. You know, it can actually not, you know, help. Sometimes it doesn't help you, but it, you know, if you do it correctly, it can help. But it's not like a huge deal breaker for sure. But Peek's actually doing very, very well. It's a really good time. So 56 gonna take the point here.
Really nice corner for ProfPoli at the very end there. That was really good. Yeah, 18:58 last lap.
Barely missing the sub 1, but still a very good time.
All right, we got one more track left. What do you want to see, Obio?
I want to see Dark Moon. I really hope it's gonna be Dark Moon.
His Dark Moon Caverns skills.
It's a track that other people don't like, but you know, I like it a lot, and I want to see it. And actually, ProfPoli choosing Dark Moon Hover. Thank you so much, Polly. We're gonna get to see my favorite track. It's actually fairly difficult, and you know, it's very narrow, so maybe people are gonna be bunking all over the place. We'll see. Very interesting pick to end the match.
All right, ProfPoli with one more chance to put some numbers on the board. This is it. Last race of the match.
Very last race, last chance for Polly to get the point on the board.
ProfPoli with the orange boost at the start. Unfortunately missing the first zipper there. But he's got a couple more bananas than Peegs.
Which could definitely make the difference on this track. But the Peegs just getting a few more zippers, but bunking in the middle of the turn, the inside of the turn. And now getting to the loop section, ball player opting to hug the right side, as you can kind of get the little boost as you're exiting the loop. And Peegs with a little advantage, about 1.5 seconds. Definitely not over for Polly. And a very, very good boost in the crater from Polly. But missing the one in the tunnels is going to hurt him a little bit.
He missed that on the first lap too. I think he's kind of got the wrong angle coming in, and he just meets the wall right where, in that little tiny space in between the wall and the zipper.
And the 38th lap from Peegs, pretty good. The 40, so about, I would say, like a 3-4 second difference, but very easy to get stuck, like in the corner with the on this track. You know, Peegs hitting a wall a little bit, but you know, still keep going. Probably actually missing the zipper again. That's gonna hurt him a lot. I think at this point, once you reach the loops on the third lap, it's very hard to not mess up. To mess up, I mean. So Peak's gonna take it with a. I thought it was gonna be a sub 2, barely missing the sub 2, but still taking the 13th point. Polly with a 207. Unfortunately, not gonna take any points, but still putting up a very good fight. So Peaks is gonna. That was, I think, Peaks' last match. I think she lost the first 2 match. So now, at least she's gonna be able to win this match. And I think we have them in the call now for an interview.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
Hey
How's it
guys.
going? Congrats, Peegs, on the victory.
Thank you. GG's to Polly.
GG's Peegs. That's fun.
Why'd you have to
So-
choose Dokman Hover?
Asking
That
the
was
first
actually on my list.
That
So,
was so
Prof,
unsatisfying.
I want
was
to
that-
ask you, each race that you picked a track with a non-default vehicle. Tell us a little bit why you decided to do that.
Yeah, so pretty much I just thought, I took a little bit of time to practice these tracks individually because I knew that, if somebody else had picked them, I would need to be prepared for them. So I just took those tracks individually, and I wasn't expecting to lose every single race, but those were just on my list, and those were the ones that I practiced. Spent a little bit more time on, as well as the other tracks, but
Cool.
apparently I'm not up to snuff quite yet.
It made for a very interesting race, seeing some pretty uncommon picks.
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting you to pick some of these, and quite frankly, why? Why did you pick some of those? They were horrible tracks.
I would just like to say I really like the Dark Moon Horror track, so thank you.
Why did you pick
I was like
some of those?
really happy that you picked it for the finally that final track. But Peaks, any thoughts about the race at all? How do you feel? Any tracks that you think you could have done better? Or do you think that?
Besides
Peaks,
TC,
any thoughts about the race? at all?
I don't really know. I feel like I played really well today, actually. I think I could have done Stowe City playing better. But I was feeling really confident today, and I was been playing pretty well, so.
Yeah, it felt like you definitely had some practice in, and you were ready for this match for sure. So Polly, did you? It was your first match of the tournament, I think. You have 2 more to do after that. So how are you feeling about those, and about the match?
Well, I was hoping to get maybe 1 point or something today, but that didn't happen. But yeah, might definitely going to be spending some more time practicing all the tracks overall. Yeah, it's been fun playing this game recently.
This
Yeah.
game is always fun.
Actually, I think you've got quite a few PBs, if I'm not mistaken, in this match, unless you're using a different card.
Oh yeah, no, just this one. So yeah, I want to
Yeah.
upload sometimes to DKR64.com, get that time trials sheet filled out.
Yeah, so it was really nice to see, those time getting, beaten for sure, especially in the 1 try. So it shows that you actually been, playing a little bit. So, not everything is lost, getting some PBs. So, congrats on that for sure.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, man.
Very
I think you played pretty well today, Polly. I honestly didn't know too much what I was expecting, because I knew the last time I saw you play was last year during the ATO tournament. So I haven't really seen you play since then, so I didn't know if you were doing stuff behind the scenes, so I didn't know what should I expect out of it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how well I do either, but I had a lot of
All
fun.
right.
Yeah.
Any
GG's,
final
guys.
thoughts?
GG's.
GG's. And thanks for the commentary. Thanks for the viewers for watching. Even though even though I played Dark Moon like crap and TC like crap. Okay, enough about my bad gameplay. But thanks everyone for watching, and thanks for the commentators, and thanks for the GSA for running this. So,
Thank you
great
very much
tournament.
for the race. Thank you to Abio for the commentary.
Was a pleasure to be with you.
All right, so next up we've got SM64 16-star between Ouija and Aki, and later on some more Mario Kart Double Dash. And I believe the next, let's see, the next DKR match isn't actually until Monday, I believe.
No, there's actually Giz against Poli tomorrow night at 9.
Oh, right, tomorrow
That's
night
right,
at 9.
I'm racing Giz.
So if you want more DKR action, be sure to be there tomorrow at 9 p.m. So yeah, thanks everybody for watching. We're gonna throw it to the SM64 guys. So see you.
Bye.
Have a good night.